Hi, thanks for joining us as we work to connect with each other and with Jesus. Well, today our activity is taking us outside, and I brought Roy along to help me. All right, so Roy, we're gonna take some rocks, okay?
Okay.
And we're gonna try to stack them on top of each other. Okay? So if it's nice, go outside or whatever you want to do. Just have fun with this, okay? All right, so Roy, let's find some rocks, and let's see if we can stack them on top of each other. Let's see how many rocks we can actually get, okay? So find some rocks and try to stack them on top of each other.
I can do this one.
All right, can you keep more? Get more? No, that was not good. Oh, here's a good flat one. We can get a bunch of stuff on that and help. Hey, turn this way so people can see you on the camera, okay?
Here's a nice one.
Oh, that's a nice one, yeah. Oh, keep trying.
That's like a volcano now.
Yeah, it's like a volcano.
Nope.
Nope, that didn't work. So let's keep going. See if we can find any better rocks as we do this.
What's on this one?
So as you'll notice from this video, or as you guys do this, there are some rocks that are good for this, and there are some rocks that aren't. So particularly, we see this nice flat rock. It's flat on both sides, provides a good platform. And so I see this rock and I say, well, this is going to be excellent for what we're trying to do. But on top of that, it has it's a little, has some ridges, and so it helps to connect with other rocks. It provides a nice sturdy platform. A rock like this is smooth on top. You know, rocks aren't obviously going to stay on that. And so we have to make decisions and judgments on the rocks on what is best.
Something is moving.
Oh, there's something moving? Okay, we got rid of it. So, but it reminds me of Luke chapter 6, where Jesus is talking about judging others. Starting in verse 37, he says, "Do not judge and you will not be judged. Do not condemn and you will not be condemned. Forgive and you will be forgiven. Give and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use to judge, it will be measured against you." He also told them this parable. "Can a blind man lead a blind man? Will they not both fall into a pit? A student is not above his teacher, but everyone who is fully trained will be like his teacher. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Brother, let me take the speck out of your eye,' when you yourself fail to see the plank in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the plank out of your eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye." So one of the things that I think we notice is that there are certain rocks that have potential to stack. Again, we go back to this nice flat rock. I see this has potential, and then I look at this rock and I say, well, it doesn't have potential for this particular activity. But I think our tendency is sometimes to generalize. We say, well, this rock isn't good for this, so it's just not good in general. Or we say, this rock is good for this, so it's always good. Well, that's not necessarily the case. One of the great things about God is that He doesn't need us, but He allows and even asks us to help Him. See, God has this great plan, and He works with us and asks us to work with Him to accomplish that plan. And so, even though this rock may not be good for something else, it's good for this. And this rock may not be good to stack, but it may be good for something else. And so what we see is that our potential, our ability to contribute, to be useful, is not dependent upon what other people think. See, I think a lot of times we look at other people and we say, well, they're not like me. They're not as talented or gifted as I am in this area, or I'm better than they are in whatever that may be. And so we almost kind of push them aside and saying, until you look like me, until you're as good as me, whatever that may be, then you're not useful. But my usefulness is not because of my abilities. It's not based on how I can contribute or what I think I can accomplish by myself. It's based on who God is. See, my potential is based on Him. And so I wonder what would happen if you and I looked at other people the way God looks at them. just because something isn't good for one thing doesn't mean it's totally useless. So this can be good for this, but not that. So you can be good for one thing, and somebody may be good for something else. See, I have talents you don't have, and you have talents I don't have. And this is part of God's awesome picture, is that we can work together to succeed. And so when you're good at something, God uses it. When I'm good at something, God uses it. But my usefulness is not because I'm good, it's because of who God is. So don't judge others based on how good you think they are. Judge them by the potential that God has given them. And that can change our mentality. You found another nail. Good job. And sometimes we can find unexpected things and be surprised and have a good laugh and just be kind of in awe at what God does for us. So I hope you enjoy this activity and that you're able to look at people the way God sees them. Stay connected to each other and to Jesus.